to today's class. As with all things following snowstorms in the Washington, D.C. area, it is always met with significant delays right after those snowstorms. So thank you for bearing with me today on our regularly scheduled YouTube Live, a couple hours later than normal. We are going to resume talking about the laws of Tefillah and the places and times that are appropriate and permitted for prayer. So we talked about different places that one should not pray, such as being outside, on top of the stage, standing on top of a chair. And now we're going to talk a little more about being in the shul itself. It's interesting how some of these things get lumped together, and sometimes they get their own special siman. This is one of those simanim that you can almost say this should have been broken up a little bit, because we are breaking it up ourselves. So that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to think about. But nonetheless, we will pursue the learning anyway. So we are picking up with Siman Tzadi. We are picking up a chapter 90 here, and we are with the halacha number 9, if tes. And so the Shulchan Aruch says over here that a person should make the effort to engage in prayer in the synagogue, the Beit Knesset, the place where everybody gathers, and with a congregation. So those are a couple of things. Okay, so you should try to get to shul. Not like those people who say you only have to go to shul when you have a chiyuv. Those people who say that, clearly, not only have they missed the boat, they've missed the Shulchan Aruch. And if he is somehow prevented, that he can't come to the Beit Knesset, he can't come to the synagogue, then you should try to daven, you should try to schedule your prayer at the same time that the congregation is engaging in prayer. And the Ramah adds, so too, people who live in the far out places, in the real far out places where they can't get a minyan easily, and they don't have a minyan, they don't have there's no one there at all. Nonetheless, they should still pray the morning service and the evening service at the time when the community is engaged in prayer. So whatever nearby community, they should try to pick that time. Nowadays, it's easy. Go daven, click on where you're at, to the nearest minyan, and that'll answer that question. But Mishna doesn't bring that down. That's my own 2 cents. So too, if one is under some type of duress or difficult situation, and they can't engage in prayer when the community is engaging in prayer, that person should pray by themselves, still in the shul. So you see, there's 2 big important things: to pray in the shul and to pray in a minyan. So let's go over this halacha more in depth with Mishna. Sorry, there's a hair that landed on my Mishnah. Made it difficult to read. Okay, pray within the Beit Knesset in the synagogue, and as Mishnah says, that's even if you have 10 people at your house, shul is better. Okay, and he says to check Siman 18, check chapter 18. I'm off the top of my head, not recalling that. Should have checked this ahead of time. But if it comes to me, I will make a note of it. So it says, see the Mishnah there, 1854. Okay. So, and you should also pray with the congregation, because Hashem listens to the prayers of the congregation when they are gathered together. So Hashem will not reject the prayers of the congregation. It's an interesting thought. Okay, and that's no matter how many sinners are located there. The Mishnah explains, this is all from the Gemara. This person should nonetheless gather with the congregation. Now, if there are 2 shuls, and one shul has more people in it, it's better to pray in that one, because Barav Am Hadras Melech. He doesn't say that, but the idea is that you should always pray with more people. The authorities write that if in the shul there is a lot more people, but it's a it's a rov am im rov bilbul, right? It's a lot of people and a lot of noise, okay? And you can't hear yourself pray, and you can't hear the reading of the Torah. Better to pray in a smaller place with only 10, and you can get the prayer and everything done correctly, or even in your house. And also in the shul by yourself, or in your house and with 10, the prayer with a minyan is still better. Okay, so that's the better thing. And that's even if you're able to hear Kaddish and Baruch Hu, okay, so all the important things. So even though you're praying in the shul by yourself, however, you would have a minyan in the room with you when you were praying at home, that's still better. Okay, and I'm not sure what that really means, because obviously you can only hear those. They're Devarim Shebet Kedusha. You can only hear them when there's 10 people around anyway. But the idea is that if you were stuck in some random room in the shul and you could just hear somebody saying that, I don't know why you just don't go in that room. But, you know, theoretically speaking, it's still better. The main part of Tefillah in the congregation, Tefillah b'tzibur is what it's called officially, okay? The prayer with the congregation is to say the Shemoneh Esrei with them, okay? So that there should be 10 people who are gathered together in one place, okay? 10 men who are adults, and not to people who think that just when you gather together, you just hear Kaddish and Kedusha and Baruch Hu, and then you kind of, you know, whenever you get the Shemoneh Esrei, whenever you get the Shemoneh Esrei. You want to get everybody to have Shemoneh Esrei start at the same time, okay? So the person has an obligation to catch up in shul in order to get to Shemoneh Esrei at the same time as the rest of the congregation. Okay, so don't just delay a cup and show up late and then start davening whenever. No, if you want to show up late, you still have to play catch up to Shemoneh Esrei. Someone's walking on Shabbos and Yom Tov, and they're trying to leave early in order to get to the synagogue to catch the first 10. Okay, because most people actually get there much later, and in that early minyan they also say Musaf right after Shachris. Okay, but you have time afterwards to go to the bigger shul where there's going to be a bigger crowd. So it's better to go with the daven Musaf at the regular time. At a later time in the bigger synagogue where there's more people. Okay, why? Because we mentioned earlier, Barav Am Ha'adzukas Melech. The glory of the king is in the abundance of people. Okay, and that's only assuming that they have a place that's meant to be prayed in that spot in the synagogue. But if it's not a place that they don't have a regular room for tefillah in that big Beit Knesset, it's more like a community center than it is an actual shul. Okay, then you should just make your prayers, your shachris, and your musaf in one place. So if there's a bigger shul with musaf and a smaller minyan that's earlier and more organized, that's earlier, prefers that. So there's a tshuva of the Radvaz that somebody who was in jail, that the ruler allowed him to pick one day to go pray with the congregation with a minyan. Okay. What would be the best day for that? Should he go immediately, or should he wait to find a better day, like Yom Kippur or Purim, right? Yom Kippur, because it's Yom Kippur, right? Purim, so you hear the Megillah, and so there's actually a lot to think about that. So that actually is that's a very in-depth thing. So he says to check out the Chai Adam in chapter 68, and then there's a long commentary in there in which he discusses this. So it's an interesting thought process about what would be the appropriate time to go and pray in the shul if you had one day to get out of jail to go do it. Okay, so that's the idea. Let's see. Okay, so if a person was not able to get to shul, so why can't you get to shul? So the Mishna explains, because you were sick. It was too hard to get to shul. And if it's because of some type of monetary thing, because you had to go to get to your job, you should still try to daven with the tzibur, as opposed to davening by yourself, okay? Or to daven in the shul without the tzibur is also preferable. But if it's just about your profits, then you shouldn't try to skip out on shul just to profit more, right? Just get richer, right? If you need to take care of your job, whatever, it's something that we can understand. So, for example, I would say to somebody that if there's in some Jewish communities you have this option, like in bigger ones we have lots of synagogues all over the region, that if you could daven with a less familiar minyan closer to your office or your main shul at home, but you won't be able to stay and daven b'tzibur, you should go to the place where you can daven b'tzibur. That's what he's saying over here as well. So if you're driving to work, okay. And let's see that. Let's see. So he tells a story over here, the Mishnah Berurah, that there was one time that the Av Beis Din of Hamburg, of Zalman Meirels, he was going to shul and he had his talis on, his tefillin on, and he had a bunch of expensive gems to sell to him, and he wanted to walk with him home, and he said, "Listen, you need to wait until I come back from shul." And so the guy went ahead and he sold somebody else, okay? And the other guy made a bunch of money off of it. And he said this Av Beis Din was very happy. He said, "Oh, you see how valuable it is? More valuable than precious stones. The daven with the tzibur." And this story is also brought in the work Eliyahu Rabbah, that people who don't come to shul can be penalized when the minyan is not meeting. They can be penalized for not coming into shul, and either because they're busy learning somewhere else or because they are trying to just earn more money. And for people who are very wealthy, you should impose a greater fine. And a person who is learning, you should still fine them, so they shouldn't look like they're not coming into shul. There's also a look more about this in Siman Yud Ches. So I'm not sure why he keeps referencing Siman Yud Ches, because Siman Yud Ches is back in Hilchos Tzitzis. So I'm not sure why he keeps mentioning Siman Yud Ches. Maybe he means Siman Ches, which is Siman Ches is also Hilchos Tzitzis. So I'm not sure why he keeps referencing that. So it's a little bit interesting, not quite clear on why that is, but I'm curious about it. Okay, the next halacha. Okay, when a person is at shul and you're getting engaged to pray, we're in halacha yud now. One should not start the Shemoneh Esrei before anybody else at the daven with the shul, unless time is running out for the time to say the Tefillah. Okay, so one should only do it that way. So if the community itself is taking too long, then go ahead and start. But if they're not saying lots of liturgical prayers and they're not being delayed for any other reason, so okay. However, the Ramah adds, where it's not a danger of letting the time of prayer pass, then one is allowed to go ahead and say all of these liturgical prayers and all of these additional supplications with the congregation. And one should not skip out on saying them, because you now look like a separatist, one who separates from the tzibur, and that's also inappropriate. Okay, so, and it's even to sit and read Torah. And he says to see Siman Samach Ches. In Siman Samach Ches, we did mention that in Siman Samach Ches, in 68, we talk about the person should say Shema while they're in shul. See, that I remember. The other one they're quoting, I don't remember what they're talking about. What's the other one talking about? All right, well, limits of my mental capacity. What can I tell you guys? All right, so we say that you should daven with this, to say that the Shemoneh Esrei before the tzibur, before the congregation gets there, is not appropriate. He says that even though he just said that when you're davening at home, you should try to get to the time when the community is saying Shemoneh Esrei. That's to say, that's regarding having your prayer heard, because that's if there's more judgment on you when you're davening by yourself as opposed to the congregation, because with the congregation, Hashem will look more favorably upon it. So that's an important part of it. So I think that there's a mistake in here, as what I personally think in that previous one. So I'm going to look that up, and we'll make a whole little big stick about that later. I must have a mistake in this version. Okay, so there's no prohibition when davening at home to have a prayer earlier than the congregation. It's only when you're actually in shul with the congregation, or you're anywhere with the congregation. That is a prohibition. And there's a sefer called the Orchos Chaim, where the reason why one who goes earlier than the rest of the congregation is because one is basically spurning the congregation. And from the Gemara, it seems that even if you want to do this in order to learn more quickly, okay, you have a class to get to, more learning to get to, Harus is waiting for you, right? Still, daven now, okay? The Bach writes that if a person has to leave on a trip, like, you gotta get to work, right? So you can leave the shul and pray at home. So it seems the Mishnah says that maybe even according to the Bach, according for this, it would be appropriate to also for learning Torah as well. And there are other people who agree with that. So some people say that that's only regarding Musaf on Sabbaths and festivals, but maybe it works for Shacharis as well. Let me get to your question here. How does it work with congregations that are mixed with an active minyan and a group of men studying among them because they prayed earlier all in the same room? So the answer to that question is people are sitting and learning, and people are standing and davening. The people who are sitting and learning can continue to sit and learn. However, they should respond to the Dvar Mishra Kedusha that are going on around them. That's the answer. So if they got the Shema, say the Shema. They got the Shemoneh Esrei. You wait when they get the Shemoneh Esrei and they're repeating the Shemoneh Esrei, you say Kedusha with them. If they get the Kaddish and Baruch Hu, say those things with them. All right, they don't start early. So, and the reason we can't start early is that even if you need to leave, you need to go to shul. That's what the most people say. But other people say, but other people say that it's not, you're not allowed to. Excuse me, if you want to leave shul, right? So if you're sticking around shul is where the prohibition is. But some people disagree with that assessment. So it's only when you are trying to stick around in the building, okay? But if you're going to leave, then that seems that some people would say that would be okay. You were still going to lose out on Tefillah B'tzibur with no prohibition. And we'll see as we go on through Tefillah that there's places where you're not allowed to go in, not allowed to go out, such as during reading the Torah, Kiyach Torah, such as that. So the only time you're allowed to, according to this halacha, to get early is when you're going to miss out on getting it in the Siman of Tefillah. Because that means that even though you're in shul, you still need to follow the most important rule, which is Tefillah B'zmana. Okay? And everyone seems to say that. And the Bach also agrees that when there's too little time between now and getting to Shemoneh Esrei, and they're taking too long, okay, and you're going to miss the time, right? But, however, it would actually be better to leave the room where everybody's davening and daven by yourself, either to go home or somewhere else. The Gemara actually says that if a person's not feeling well, that they may go ahead and pray by themselves. Okay, and that's before the congregation actually does any davening. However, if you're not feeling well in shul, you can't do that. Okay? Some people, however, disagree and say that there's certain things you can do in the shul when you're not feeling well or you need to leave. So it seems like there's a little bit more of a discussion, which we will leave for another time. Okay, halacha yud aleph. Okay, someone who has a shul in his city, but he doesn't go in there to daven, is called a bad neighbor, and he causes exile both to him and to his children. So the Mishnah explains, what does that mean? It says, if you have two shuls, well, you should go to the further one too. Okay, because there's value in going to the further one. So it would kind of be silly to have shuls close to each other and everyone keeps walking to the further one. So, but he's saying that if there is one, you do get reward for that. So that is to kind of go to both. Okay, so you're called a bad neighbor, a shachen ra. Okay, and should avoid shachen ra, right? We ask every morning that Hashem saves us from ega ra, shachen ra, everything ra, right? Shachen ra, so save us from the bad neighbors. Okay, so people who are bad neighbors, they don't want to go to their friends' houses at all. That's what he's saying. So, however, this is even when there's not a minyan there, okay? Because it's just saying not going into the shul is a bad thing. But the Pri Megadim is not sure if that's the case. If you daven at home with 10, then that's not considered a bad neighbor at all. Okay? Because as long as you have 10 people, then God's presence is there, and then it's permitted. Now, however, you should really try to go to daven in shul, because that's part of that's sort of part of the way that the rabbis of the Talmud set up prayer services. They should be meant to be held in a place of gathering, and it's meant to be a place that is set for holiness. Okay, more about being a bad neighbor. He says why you call it a bad neighbor. So the verse says, Ko Amar Hashem ar kol shechenei ha'ra'im. The Hashem spoke out against all of my bad neighbors. So what's going to happen? Hini notashim me'al admas. I'm going to spread you off of the land. So therefore, you see that they get kicked out. And that's where you get the galus from. That's where the exile from. Now, people who go early to the shul and go late to the shul, they're going to live a long time, because it says, Ashrei Adam Shomei Ali Lishkod Al Dalso Sai Yom Yom. One who spends inordinate time by my house day after day. And then it says, Kei Motzai Matzachayim. Because those who find me find life. Okay, there you go. You want to live a long life? Forget about the exercise, forget about the diet. Show up, come to shul. No, that's a joke. The idea is that one who shows such honor to Hashem will live a long time. I used to see some of the oldest people I ever met in my entire life were in two places. They were either at shul, or they were at the community workout center. The centurions and super centurions were always at those places, always taking care of themselves. And part of the chiyus, part of their life, was to be at shul and to take care of themselves. Halacha Yud Beis. It is a mitzvah to run to shul. Actually, the words he actually says, it's mitzvah to run when going to shul. That's what he actually says. And for every mitzvah, even on Shabbos, where you're normally not allowed to take big steps, run for mitzvahs. But when you leave the shul, you can't run. Mishna explains why is that a mitzvah? Because he says you should run as fast as you can to come learn about Hashem. And from here we learn that so too for everything, you shouldn't try to take the path to again veer off with your friend and try to do your own thing, because really what you're going to find is that you want to try to find the place where you're going to find a place where you can recite Baruch Hu and Kedusha. Okay? Okay, and then also you're going to come after they've recited Baruch Hu and Kedusha. Let's see. He brings down the words of the Prisha that the main time to run is when you are close to shul, because then clearly it's running for shul, for the mitzvah of shul. A recent study showed that pursuing meaning in life for us Torah is as life preserving as physical exercise. Yes, definitely. And actually, the idea of having faith communities has also been demonstrated to show that people live a really long time. People who live the longest time, Ashkenazi Jews, and a bunch of people who follow this type of religious convent out in Loma Linda, California, the Seventh-day Adventists. Yeah, they also live a very, very long time. But the New York Times did an article over a long time ago says that the Ashkenazi Jews live a long time. What's up with that? Go to shul. That's it. Sometimes even if you go to shul and you sit and you have cake, you're going to shul, right? You have some coffee, First made a joke one time. He came into shul on Shabbos. When he gets up, he goes, I wasn't sure this morning. I saw so many coffee cups. I thought I was at Starbucks, but I realized I was at shul. My response to that is always, it's good. It's good. I'm sure his grandfather will agree with me. It's good that they're in shul. So they could not be in shul. Another way to actually demonstrate that you're running to shul is to hold your chalice and tefillin high. All right, make people know I'm running to shul. Okay. He does caution that running in the non-Jewish streets may not be a good thing, because maybe they think you're running from the cops. Okay, he doesn't say that. I'm saying that. Running. Okay, and you should run to the the doorway of the Beit Knesset. Don't run in shul. Don't run in school. Don't run in shul, folks. That's not right. But don't run from it. Okay. But just go, ever so timidly from shul. Even on Shabbos, then we say it's usher. You can still run. Okay. And we say the reason why is because taking big steps takes a little bit of your life out of you, a little bit of the brightness of your eyes. So that's what he says. So more about not running. And one shouldn't take big steps, especially when leaving shul, because one shouldn't feel like they're actually burdened by shul. And that's only assuming that you're going to your own things. But if you're going to go to another mitzvah, so running from one mitzvah to another mitzvah is okay. Okay, so if you're running from shul to yeshiva to learn, you can run because that's doing another mitzvah. Okay, halacha 13. How are we doing on time over here? We can keep going. One may spit in the shul and may smash it with his foot or cover it with rubber. Okay? What this basically means is that one may blow their nose in shul. Okay? So, right, please don't spit on the floor. Not anymore. Right? Don't do it anymore. And this is also not during Shemoneh Esrei, the Mishnah explains. Maybe it's like during Shema or the blessings of Shema. But during Shemoneh Esrei, you can't spit. We will learn it later on in Siman Zion, okay, in 97, which we'll get to in a few weeks. And you can smash it with your foot, so that way people shouldn't see your spit. It would be dishonorable. And if a person does not want to spit regularly in shul, they should swallow it before coming into it. Okay. And they should also use. He suggests using something called. Lacquerage. Maybe he means licorice. I think that's Yiddish for licorice. Okay, and so normally one isn't allowed to actually eat things beforehand. So if one's having a problem with it, one could take licorice. This would also tell you that it's permitted to go ahead and take things that could help you to clear up your throat and your sinuses, such as lozenges. And things and menthol that you can eat in order to help clear up your throat. But again, we learned this already before when we talked about one can take certain things to go ahead and clear up the throat. But here we're saying explicitly to help clear up the mucus. Okay. However, you can't take things that leave the sweetness in your mouth for too long, and then it's going to cause you to swallow the sweetness. Okay, so no candies is what he's saying. Okay, it's not clear what the things are that he's talking about, but you can take something that's a lozenge, it's not such a sweet thing, but it clears you up, or the menthol drops. Take glutens, take Ricola, take those type of thing, right? But don't take a candy. Okay. And to cover it up, so when you cover it up, which is if you have things like straw or rubber. And shul, spit in that, and they don't have to rub it into the ground. So basically, if you're gonna blow your nose, blow it in a tissue. Don't let other people look at it. Let's see. Should we stop here? Yeah, that's a good place to stop. I think it's a good place to stop. Yep, I think we'll stop there because then we're gonna talk more later on about other nice, fun things to do when going to shul. Okay, so we will hold it there, and we will continue next time. Thank you everyone for joining today. We will pick up with more fun laws of prayer in shul, and remember to always bring tissues to shul and don't run away. So remember, after this year, you should walk, don't run to the nearest exit. Thank you for joining us for today, and we will see you next time. And the regular time. Called.